Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone's first publication was back in 1997, and the world got immediately captured by it. Glasses and a scar are the things that represent the wizarding world, and everyone enjoys his story, from children to adults. But there's this other story from the wizarding world, and J.K. Rowling introduced us to a character who differs greatly from the boy who lived. That character is Newt Scamander. In Fantastic Beasts, Newt Scamander is J.K. Rowling's newest hero. But who he is and how is he related to the world of Harry Potter? And what was his life like? Well, keep watching so you can find out everything about this amazing character. Here's just a fair warning. The following video contains spoilers for Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, and Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Number 9. Unique Wizard. When it comes to personality, Newt Scamander is a hero that is so different from Harry Potter. He's also fearless and caring as Harry, but he's more shy and uncomfortable in some way. Needing the common experiences of the Chosen One, he's the nerd to Harry's jock. During his work, he learns everything about animals, and he's quite passionate about them. He also teaches everyone about animals in his life. Here you can see the difference between him and Harry, who doesn't have the experience of growing up in the magical world yet, inexplicably cut the care of magical creatures. Most of the things we know about Newt Scamander come from the first 2 Fantastic Beasts movies, and we'll definitely learn more in the 3 upcoming movies. However, there are things about Newt that we can learn from other sections of J.K. Rowling's world that is still not used in movies. So guys, are you ready to dive into the life of Newt Scamander's life, family, and things he enjoys? Buckle up as we're going deep into Scamander's history. Number 8. His real name. There's a controversy about the character's name in J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World and George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire. Essentially, with Albus Percival Wulfric, Brian Dumbledore, Newt isn't restricted in this field. Born in 1897, Newt's full name is Newton Artemis Fido Scamander. Probably, those names were influenced by scientist Sir Isaac Newton, the Greek goddess of the hunt and wild animals Artemis and Fido, which is a dog's name. Number 7. Hippocrates. Newt probably looked like a curiosity to most of his associate wizards, but his passion for working with magical creatures is something his family was known for. Newt's mother was a special hippogriff breeder. She probably even bred Buckbeak's grandparents. Hippogriffs are half horse, half eagle. These mythical creatures were first brought up by the ancient Latin poet Virgil, and have afterwards appeared in many stories, poems, and movies. They are similar to the griffin. Griffins have the hindquarters of a lion, preferably than a horse, but griffins and hippogriffs both have the front features of an eagle, having a beak, talons, and wings. The hippogriff herd at Hogwarts. Anyone? Despite Newt's profession, his mother wasn't quite impressed with her son's choice of occupation. And number 6. Hufflepuff at Hogwarts. In Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, Newt Scamander is older and his school days are over. However, he went to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. The Badgers get a poor rap because of their shortage of influence in the Harry Potter series. But this house, established by Helga Hufflepuff, has made great wizards like Cedric Diggory, Nymphadora Tonks, and well, Newt Scamander. Newt is a wizard that represents the nature of Hufflepuff, admiring honesty, hard work, and devotion. Newt began Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry when he was 11 years old. The patience and loyalty endorsed Newt to maintain his research of magical creatures, but he also struggled with some difficulties through his study. During his research, an incident happened with a magical creature that threatened the life of another student and was expelled. His transfiguration teacher, Albus Dumbledore, wasn't happy about the expulsion, and it's known by Miss Rowling that Newt was taking the guilt for someone else. Number 5. Leta Lestrange. What's amazing is that while watching Fantastic Beasts, we are introduced to the fact that during his school days, Newt built a strong relationship with Leta Lestrange, a family name which appears often in the Harry Potter saga, and is frequently joined with dark wizards like Grindelwald and Lord Voldemort. But we can also see that they are not close anymore, and they didn't end on good terms. Newt is not happy with all of that, and he often says how sad he is about the fact that people change. While Zoe Kravitz portrays Leta in Fantastic Beasts, we can only see her in a photograph that Newt has. We learned more about this character, which the director described as quite complicated, a little damaged and confused, kind of tragic figure in a way, in the next movies. Even though Newt never finished Hogwarts, he got a job at the Ministry of Magic in, not surprising at all, the Department of the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures. And after 2 years in the office for House Elf relocation, Newt was assigned to the Beast Division, and after being recognized as an expert magizoologist, he was advanced by Obscurus Books to write the now world-renowned Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Number 4. Time in New York City. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them shows the period where Newt is in New York City after finishing school and getting creatures to investigate for his book. But everything gets complicated after crashing into the no-mage Jacob Kowalski, Dan Fogler. Most of the creatures Newt had collected in his briefcase are released, causing chaos in the city. While recovering the different creatures in the city, Newt meets Porpetina Goldstein, Catherine Waterston, retired Auror, now a federal wand permit officer, and his destined wife, and her sister, Queenie, Allison Siddall, a legilimens with a desk job at the Magical Congress of the United States of America. 1926 is also the year when the wizarding community in America is chaos itself. There's continuing fear of witches and magic is aroused by organizations like the New Salem Philanthropic Society and MCUSA, setting strict laws prohibiting any fraternizing in wizards and no-mage. There has been an odd series of attacks on no-mage, and all fault goes to Newt's escaped creatures. Besides the anxious mood from the escaped creatures, strange crimes, and the great secrecy circling in the American magical area, there's also increasing fear because of the acts of Grindelwald and his devotees in Europe. And while Grindelwald's power increases, the concern that America will face a war against the wizard floats around. Number 3. Fantastic Beasts and After. The first version of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was issued in 1927. The book got amazing success, and it soon became a staple textbook of wizarding education. And here's a fun fact. Did you know that the version that Harry later uses while visiting Hogwarts is its 52nd edition? However, Newt stayed to work at the Ministry of Magic until 1900, when he retired, but he never quit studying magical creatures, and he was always devoted to the new editions of his book. In 1947, Newt produced the first werewolf registry, and later in 1965, he supported the ban on experimental breeding. He got the award of the Order of Merlin, second class in 1979, for his participation in magizoology, and he also starred on his own chocolate frog card. Following his departure, Newt attended Hogwarts throughout Harry's third year, but the reasons are still unknown. His visit, though, is obvious in the presence of his name on the Marauders map, seen in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Newt and Tina had at least one child, who then had at least one child, Rolf Scamander. Rolf later married Harry's classmate, Luna Lovegood, and the two had twins, Lorcan and Lysander. Newt Scamander reaches Harry Potter after the loss of Lord Voldemort, and maybe before the issues of the play, Harry Potter and Cursed Child, possibly at Rolf and Luna's wedding. Number 2. World War I. Although the Great War was originally a Muggle conflict, some wizards took a part in it. Maybe that's the reason the wizards who visited Grindelwald's gathering in Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, were so afraid of his warning of another war. Newt Scamander did not kill in the First World War, but as he told Jacob Kowalski in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, he was on the Eastern Front through the conflict wrangling dragons. especially Ukrainian ironbellies, the biggest species of dragon in the wizarding world. In the Muggle edition of the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them textbook, we can see that Newt once worked for the Ministry of Magic, in the Office for House Elf Relocation, in the Department for the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures. Newt defined his 2 years of work there as dull, but we don't know if he was pointing to work with house elves or something else, although some imagine he would have been a follower of SPEW. Number 1. Important legislation. Because of the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them book from J.K. Rowling, through Newt Scamander, we can see that Newt thought of his most impressive expert success to be the ban on experimental breeding that was established in Wizarding Britain in 1965. It improved the majority of wizard-bred magical creatures. Probably, he addressed this law to secure the magical creatures and protect them from abuse and experimentation where they could be raised for wicked intentions. Hagrid was not fascinated by this law though. Thanks to the About the Author section of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, we know that when Newt was working for the Department for the Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures in 1947, Newt brought the idea of the Werewolf Register, a record of all known werewolves in Britain. Newt probably didn't know that putting people on records wasn't a good idea because of the history, and werewolves such as Remus Lupin grew second-class citizens in the wizarding world. But we're sure that Newt did this because he wanted to help those troubled with lycanthropy. That was all about Newt Scamander. With 3 Fantastic Beasts upcoming movies, we will definitely learn more about Newt Scamander. There are, of course, millions of questions we need an answer to, like what happened among Newt, his brother Theseus, and Leta Lestrange. We end our video here, guys. If you have something to add about Newt Scamander's life, please do so in the comment section below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing videos such as this.